Hello, this is Dr. Clay Anderson. I will be the teacher for Physics 1 Honors this year, the 2020-2021 school year, and I'm really excited about it. I should let you know that this is like take 4 for me. I keep messing up one thing or another, so hopefully this time we'll get it. I wanted to take the time to tell you a little bit about me. We're going to spend a lot of time with each other, maybe mostly on Zoom, but I want to make the most of that time, and I want to tell you a little bit about my background and my motivation for being here. So first, this is my 13th year teaching at Kinkaid, and in fact it's my 13th year teaching in general. I've never taught anywhere else. I did a lot of other things before I taught, and so let me start further back from the beginning-ish. I'm a graduate of Kinkaid. I graduated in 1983. I suppose you could have figured that out by going and back looking through all of the yearbooks that they have on file here. You would eventually found me, although I'm not sure you would have recognized me. I actually had hair back then, believe it or not. Some other things too. I was an athlete. You know, it's like, anyway, things change. Graduated in 1983. I was a lifer. That means that I started at the very beginning of Kinkaid and went all the way through. Back when I was in school at Kinkaid, there were 2 years of preschool. So it was 2 years of preschool, kindergarten, and then 1 through 12. So that's 15 years. So that's I'm a 15-year lifer. It was a great experience for me. In addition to being a graduate of Kinkaid, my daughter graduated a few years ago. She came in 5th grade and she graduated and is now a junior in college and doing well. So I kind of got the bases covered. I'm a teacher. I'm an alumnus, and I'm a parent. I might add, I've done a little coaching while I was here. I ran cross country, track, and played a little soccer when I was here at Kinkaid. It was really nice for me to think hard during school and then, you know, go give a good effort on the athletics field. It was sort of de-stressing, and it was a really nice reset for me when I was in school. It does take time. So all you athletes out there, I know your schedules are full, just like so many other people around here doing debate and performing arts and you name it. It's all kinds of things. Anyway, so where was I? I've got all the bases covered in terms of my involvement here at Kinkaid, and I will tell you that my interest in physics started when I was here at Kinkaid. It was when I was in middle school, though. I got this really cool calculator, and it was really complicated. It had all sorts of buttons on it, and I did not know what they did. It's like I was the envy of all my geeky friends. They were like, "Oh, I wanna play with your cat." You know, like what does this button do? What is that? What's the biggest number you can possibly compute, and how fast does it do it? And like, I'm gonna compare it to mine. Anyway, that's a little bit of a different story. The button that really sparked my interest was this integral button, and I'm like, what is that? I've never seen an integral button before, and I did some reading in the instruction manual, and they had some examples of what you could do with integrals, and one of the examples was that you could compute the volume of a swimming pool, and I'm like, how how do you do that? How do you compute the volume of a swimming pool? It's not a regular shape like a cube or a rectangle or a sphere or even an ellipse. I'm not sure how to compute the volume of an ellipsoid. Back then I sure wasn't. Like, how can you do that? I mean, I know you could do it experimentally. You could get some water, keep track of how much water you put in the swimming pool, and you could figure out, you could just measure its volume that way. But how do you compute it with math? And I was like, right then, I said, this is so cool. There is something, there's a lot of stuff I don't know about. And I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to learn how to do this stuff. Also, at the time, I was a really kind of a philosophical person. I really loved to talk metaphysics. There were so many sports trips. You know, you're on the way to Dallas and SPC. You're on the bus for, 4.5, 5 hours with your friends, and we just got into some great discussions. Probably arguments might be a word that fits a little bit better. But they were about all kinds of things. They were about things like causality and time. What is time? Does time pass the same rate for all other people? And I know a lot about time now. I can tell you some cool things about it. The beginning of the universe, the end of the universe. Are there different kinds of infinity? Like, what exactly is infinity? Like, if you add two infinities together, is that bigger than infinity? Like, what, So I really came alive during these conversations, and as time went further, and I learned more and more, and was exposed to more math and more science, I discovered that physics was really the discipline that spoke most to these issues, and it captured my attention. I stuck with it. I got a degree from Johns Hopkins from physics. I went to graduate school at the University of Texas for physics, and although I didn't stay in the physics department once I got to graduate school, I was doing fine. I was doing well. But it also became clear to me that if I was going to make a significant contribution in the field of physics, it was going to take some real doing in a lot of years. Physics is a mature discipline. It started way back in the mid-1600s, you could argue. I mean, it's older than that, but you could sort of point to Galileo as being the first mathematically driven physicist, we'll put it that way, followed by Newton and a whole bunch of other people that you'll get some exposure to this year. So anyway, it's an old, mature field. At the time out in graduate school, I was taking a PE class just because I really wanted a physical outlet. I needed to exercise. I wanted an outlet. The PE classes were taught by graduate students from the kinesiology department. And I don't know if you know what kinesiology is. Kinesiology is basically the combination. It's science applied to exercise and movement of the human body, basically. And I thought, I could use my analytical skills, my mathematical skills, my modeling skills, combine that with kinesiology, exercise science. And it's a young field. I think I could really make some significant contributions. And so I transferred, and I published a lot of papers, and some good papers. And I got a master's in kinesiology. And then I discovered, a lot of people don't know what kinesiology is, and I thought maybe there's a degree I could get that would allow me more flexibility in terms of a career choice. So I changed departments again. I changed to the mechanical engineering department at University of Texas at Austin, and with a specialization in biomedical engineering. So that's what my PhD is in. And I was doing the same stuff. It's just that instead of getting a PhD in kinesiology, I was getting a PhD in mechanical engineering, and a lot of people know what that is. So I graduated, but I didn't go immediately into academia or research or apply my engineering skills. I spent a number of years as a freelance computer programmer. Um, I was basically hired by petroleum companies, geological companies, air traffic control simulation companies to program for them, and I got a lot of great experience and had a really fun time doing that. Well, a couple years after I had been doing that, I got a call from Stanford, and they said, "Please come to Stanford. We would like you to do research here based on your papers and the kind of expertise that you have." And I said, "Okay, I'm there. I'm doing it." It's just this really cool place. I went to Stanford. I spent about 10 years as a research scientist, research engineer at the University of Stanford, first in mechanical engineering and then in bioengineering. For most of the time at Stanford, my home was in the Clark Center, which was also the home of what's called the BioX program. The BioX program was a program which sought to foster innovative discoveries by bringing different disciplines together, right? So a lot of what happens, a lot of the significant advances in science these days is not in one particular field. It's very interdisciplinary. So the BioX program took researchers from all over the campus, geneticists, chemists, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, computer scientists, roboticists, cardiac, just anything, everything you can imagine. There were about 50 of us, and they all put us together in the same really cool building, and the idea was that if we talked to each other, cool things would happen. And that's basically what happened. Cool stuff happened. For my part, one of the things that I'm proud of is that I architected some software when I was at Stanford. It's called OpenSim. It's still being used by maybe hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. It's sort of like the de facto software for biomechanics, and it's also sponsored by the National Institutes of Health. So I'm quite proud of that and be happy to talk more with you about it. Anyway, I need to circle this back to teaching. After it was coming up, I guess maybe close to 10 years at Stanford, we finished a major grant, what's called a center grant, and I thought, I was at a kind of a crossroads, and I thought, if I'm going to make a change in my life, this would be the time to do it. The other thing is that although Stanford is really, really, really cool, it also can be tough to maintain balance, right? And I'm sure you all are getting a taste of how hard it is to maintain balance. So around Kinkaid. So I thought, I've got a family. My daughter, who was born in 1999, she's 9 years old. I'm really need to spend more time with my daughter and my family, and I thought, okay, I'm going to think about what I might want to do. I thought back on my life, and the thing that had really made a difference in who I am and what I did was this school, was Kinkaid. It really set me on a trajectory for a very fulfilling career. Now, when I say Kinkaid, I don't mean the buildings, although the buildings and the facilities here are fantastic. I hope we get to use them soon. It'd be nice to be back on campus. But the thing that really made a difference to me were the teachers and the coaches. They are the ones who gave me so much. I learned a ton, but they also, I think, the overwhelmingly, the biggest gift they gave me was that they believed in me. I knew they believed in me because they challenged me. And they stuck with me and they helped me. And so I am forever appreciative of the gifts given in all the years that I was at Kinkaid by the teachers and the coaches. And so I thought, I could see spending the rest of my life teaching. My teachers and coaches, there's no way I could pay them back, and in fact, I'm not sure. They don't want me to pay them back, right? They were being teachers and coaches because it was a fulfillment of what they saw as their purpose or mission in life. And I thought, what would really feel good to me is if I could give to my students what my teachers and coaches gave to me. You've probably heard that that phrase, pay it forward, right? I'm not paying a debt. It's not out of debt that I do this, but out of a sense of profound gratitude and appreciation. So I hope I can be a good teacher for you. I hope that you will feel and you will learn that I believe in you and in your potential and in your abilities. Thank you. I hope that I can facilitate whatever journey it is that you want to take. I want to help you with it. I'm really looking forward to this year. I'm excited about it. Let's go.